Hello everybody, Linda Light. I am sitting out in the sun in my activation spot at Ridley Creek State Park in Pennsylvania. The sun is coming in. It is magnificent. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of activations. There's a lot of things that, like say the Schumann resonance didn't show all the CMEs that were coming out. Usually it does, but I'm beginning to think the Schumann resonance is not necessarily measuring the CMEs and the solar flares as they come in. What I'm starting to understand about it more is that it's more of a gauge of what the collective psychology is at the moment. And what I mean by that is if you look at it, it's how is the collective feeling? What is the collective doing for incorporating the energy? And what is the output measurement of that? So you could have a massive solar flare that's not reflected on the Schumann resonance. And I don't mean massive, because most of them do, because we feel it and then we reflect that back. But as the energies come in, I don't think it's measuring that per se. It's coming into Earth, but we are part of Earth. We are on Earth. Our bodies are bringing in that energy in the plasmic light form from higher dimensions. And it comes in through our chakra alignments. And as our alignments are set in the area that we're at, in our division, in our center point, this is our center point right here. Your physical location is very important. So if you're not out in nature and you're stuck in a building in a city somewhere, or you're in a house, but if you're stuck in energy that is stuck, you can clear that through your body. So if you take the activations from the higher chakras and you bring them in, and you're using your quantum sight and your inner sight, and you're clearing the energy through your body, grounding it into Earth, you are clearing the points where your alignments are. So in the physical area of where your body is, you're a point in the grid. Look at it as crossing lines. Where ley lines cross, there you be. So if that doesn't make sense, then I guess there's some chakra inner grid communications that you need to have with your own body so that you can start to visualize what the grids, when the grids come in, imagine a net, and imagine that net is made of light, okay? And let's use the heart chakra as just an example. Remember, you have more than just one chakra, but the heart chakra as a center point. The grid work that you're connected to, it's the light filaments that come in, the structures that the grid's made out of. The net, the light net, is connected in and through your heart chakra. You cannot escape it. That's when people talk about everybody's connected, we're all connected. That's what that is. You may not see the connection on the physical, but it's okay, because we are all still connected through the grid work. So as you're breathing that in through your chakra systems, you come to a better understanding of how you control the point where intersections of lines on the grid intersect. It intersects in you, in the center of you, where that connects. When you're out in nature, it's so easy to see that with your inner sight. It's really, really easy to be able to connect with that and understand exactly what your place is in the body, you know? So outdoor meditation is very important for clearing some of these more denser energies. So this last week has been filled with intensity as the collective of humanity is revisiting things that no longer serve them, so they come up to be cleared. Breath work, meditation work, and changing behavior is so important, because we don't want to repeat things that we did that kept the energy stuck. The universe, all of us as a collective, want to make sure that we've mastered those lessons. So in releasing that energy, once you purge that, you feel so much better. You feel lighter. You feel the light activations. You feel the crystalline structures throughout your body activating. And sometimes that can be a little scary, so it may not feel brilliant at first. But once that light starts shining, once you're bringing in that sunlight to enhance, activate all the chakras, your alignment is set so that all your chakra systems are bringing in a pulse from the sun. You're feeding directly on the sunlight. You're feeding, it doesn't mean feeding food. I mean, it could. It can go to that, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the beginning stages of starting to feed from that energy instead of feeding from other people or other places, situations, or things where you normally would get your energy fix. So when we start to notice how we would pull energy from other people, we catch those behaviors. We stop that because we've mastered our own field now. And in the mastership of our own field, how we move, control our own energies, it's based on really understanding that thoughts create things. And there's energy behind that. And it's not all bullshit. It's real. So as you are remembering how to master your own energy, or you're learning how to master your own energy, but as you're remembering where you came from, you start to remember some of the gifts that are with you that you brought into this life so that you can share with other people. So as you are realigning, resetting, regridding your own structures, you're clearing it out, just like if you're moving from a house, from a location, and you have to pack everything up, you purge things, you donate things, you throw things away, you choose what you're going to sell, going to keep. It's the same thing with your body and the densities that you've been holding. So if you want to move to a higher location of vibration, if you want to move, you're not going anywhere. It's like reincarnating in your body in the same life without dying. You're not going anywhere. You're integrating and bringing in higher dimensions to overlay what you have, and you're cleansing out the older. You're pushing out all of the old stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. So of course we're all going through some type of purge. Remember, the outer world reflects the inner world. So if you're really not sure where you're at or what's going on, or you feel confused, or you feel lonely, or like nobody gets you, or if you're feeling those things, it's really time to look at what's going on in your outer world, because then you can turn it back around and say, wow, I guess I've got some inner world stuff to do. It might just be an inner clearing. It might just be an aha moment of when you ask yourself, why does this keep happening? Why is this showing up? What haven't I learned? When you start asking those questions, you'll get the answers. You'll get all the answers that you need. And really learning how to trust the universe again. Trust yourself. Trust that your soul is divine and that you come from a place of divine love and perfection. You're not here to master perfection of unconditional love. You already came from there. You already are that. You're here to be human. You're here to beautifully be human and stumble and get back up and do, learn and relearn things, because you're learning how to navigate with a multidimensional body so that you can remember how to reconnect to a higher source, a higher power, so you don't have to take that from other people. There's many ways people do that. There's many techniques and triggers and things that people have learned. They're defense mechanisms. You've learned how to capture people's attention or energy from the time you're a child. So we learn in this world how to do things like steal other people's energy, and we're taught that, and it sucks, but we're taught that. If we're taught that we're divine and that we're getting it from within, if there's, proper teachings for children, we won't learn those types of behaviors. Instead, we would learn how we're meant to be, how we're meant to live in this life. If you're going to try old techniques to seal somebody's behavior, some of the ways that might look on the quite apparent other side of things. So once you're connected, you can see things very clearly. Your senses are turned up a level. You know, all your clairs are working full on the inside. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean that that you're not going to fall again. You're still human. You're still going to stumble and make mistakes. But as we're all learning together how to reconnect to our source, as we're all learning to remember this, one of the things that will show up for other people that's quite obvious is projections. Projecting onto other people your stuff. And this appears and it looks to other people like gaslighting. Okay? Now, if we don't know exactly what gaslighting is and we hear that word and we think we know what it is, listen, if you're telling somebody else something that's true about you and you haven't accepted that in you, that's gaslighting. I mean, plain and simple. If you're telling somebody else that they're abusive, let's say, and you're the one who's being abusive, and how does that show up? Emotional, mental. It's not always physical. If somebody is telling you and calling you names and blaming you for actions that they're not taking responsibility for, and they're telling you that maybe you're abusive or that you're this or you're that, remember, when you point a finger at somebody else, you got three more pointing back at you. So if you're blaming somebody else for your actions that caused your situation, and you want to blame the outside world, that's projection. And if you directly tell somebody something that is your truth, but it's not their truth, you're gaslighting them. If you're trying to tell them that they said or did something that they didn't, but you did, you're gaslighting them. And that word is so overused right now. People can't see their own projections and they gaslight other people because they don't want to take responsibility. I mean, and it's funny that the term gaslighting is coming up when we look out into the world. Look into the world. Look what's going on. The prices of gas is going up. Well, the price of your gaslighting is also going up. Because now, when you do that to someone else and you're not taking responsibility for your own stuff and you gaslight somebody else, that price just went up. Because now you're risking burning a bridge with people that maybe supported you and had your best interest at heart. And when you want to gaslight them because you don't want to take responsibility for your own actions that got you in maybe the mess that you're in, but you want to blame everybody else, when you start doing that, that price went up. Because when you burn a bridge with someone, or if you want to hurt somebody that way, you're creating karma for yourself. So yeah, the price of gas is going up. The price of gas is going up. The price of gaslighting is going up. It's in the outside world. It's so obvious. And it's also on your inside world. So stop gaslighting people. We've got enough problems with gas on the outside world. It just makes it very obvious to the people who have done the shadow work or are working on creating their inner source connection and then trying to share that with people, trying to create a better world. It shows up for other people in a way that can't be missed. So when you see people at the pumps now and you see all the memes and you see all the social media posts and the price of gas is ridiculous. People, places, and things naturally fall out of your life when you're vibrating at different frequencies and you just don't resonate anymore. So as we come to accept this, it's kind of painful, but it's also something that we have to purge and release from ourselves, because otherwise, what are we doing? We're holding on to people with a cord, hoping that they will make it, trying to help them make it. And we don't want to do that. I've done that recently myself, trying to help somebody that didn't want the help. Guess what? It's okay. That's okay. You do you, boo. I mean, hopefully hopefully everybody in their life that has the people that they love, come along with them as we quantum leap and evolve. Hopefully we all get that, all of our loved ones, and we get to see all the good and all of that. But there's a lot of people out there that are very, very helpless, hopeless. They don't have any hope. They're not helpless. They're hopeless. They've given up hope because they want to see the outside world hand them everything, and they don't want to do the inside work, And when people keep projecting their stuff onto other people, they're just going to tell you, you're doing it. You're projecting. You're the one projecting. You're the one gaslighting, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Keep saying it, Keep going that way because, you're going to be yelling in an echo chamber. People learn from repeated behaviors what somebody with integrity and a willingness to help, people learn what somebody stands for by their actions. Your actions speak louder than your words. You may not have it all right. You may not have everything that you think you know. You may not really know. And when you're continually projecting out things and hurting people, you're going to find a very, very hard, lonely time. Because when you name call, that's abuse. When you gaslight, that's abuse and harassment. It's very, very, very naughty. So we need to knock that shit off. Okay? I feel like the people who are trying to help are getting stuck and pulled back by the people, places, and things in their life that want to pull them back into the crab bucket. A bucket of crabs. The crab's trying to crawl out. The other crabs want to pull them back in. You don't even need a lid, But all of these crabs that are trying to crawl out, let them be free. Let the crabs be free. If they want to go, let them go. And if you're sitting in the bottom of a bucket saying, I can't get out of this, and you're trying to pull other people back in, you're not going to pull them back in with gaslighting, with accusations, false accusations, with name calling, with abuse. You're not going to do it. And you're going to find yourself alone at the bottom pit of that crab bucket. And eventually, we all have a divine timer. So something will click on the inside of you. Something will click. And you will finally get it, hopefully. We don't know how many are coming. We always like to say no soul left behind, but it's not our job to pull you the entire way. It's your job to clean up your mess. And we know it's your mess when you keep projecting it out onto others, because that's the blame game. That's so easy to identify. And remember, actions speak louder than words. So as much as you spew false accusations, as much as you do that, and I'm speaking to the people that are, stumbling across this video that might be doing this to somebody, and we all might do this to somebody in our own life at a certain point. There comes a point in time when you stop doing that. And when you've stopped doing it, when you actively catch yourself doing it, and you change those behaviors. And once you do that, it becomes a habit not to. So if you're meditating daily, you're pulling in inner source, you're projecting out your light, you're going to be a bright light. People are going to try to feed off of that. So you have to establish your own security protocols, your security line defense around your field. You have to shield your field with your intentions, and then you let it go. Listen, you've heard be the change you want to be. That doesn't mean that you steal it from somebody else and claim it as your own. You have to find your own light. You have to find your own light within, and you have to project that out like the sun that you are, because your credibility, your integrity, your actions will speak louder than any words that you may say. So just remember to be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. I love you. I love you all. I will see you soon.